You know, I've noticed there's a big gap between how quickly we can change messaging and how based on data, and how quickly we can change behavior based on data. And this occurs to me every time I go to the bathroom for a weird reason. You go to the bathroom, and there's always a placard that says, please wash your hands for 20 seconds. Please wash your hands for 20 seconds. And then you wave your hands under the sink, and it cuts off after 5. So there's a big difference between changing your messaging and actually making changes based on the data. So one of the things that we've done is we've really tried to open up and embrace the industry. We've, you know, the word that kept being thrown around the office was tone deaf. New data set. We're always coming up with some new data set. And so we came out, and just for the first 2 months, we quit pitching. Just felt tone deaf. So we launched a lot of free data, and I'm going to tell you about that free data that's available today. It goes very well with the Simple View data, because we created a completely new data product based on,
what's the name of it?
Arrivalist Road More Travel. If any of you were wondering, this is just update links. It'll try, and then it won't. And just let it go. So one of the bear with me 1 second. Not coming up. So just hit OK. And it'll go back and open it. There we go. And if you've got a presenter view, then we're all good. But one of the things that we have done is we've opened the door to free products. We're not pitching these free products. The price points are a lot lower. And we're open to partnering and collaborating with everybody in the industry. We want to make sure that this data set is used to its fullest potential, because we feel like there's some hope in this data that we're going to show today. So this is a good news story. And we're eager to collaborate on ways to get this good news out to you and your clients and your constituents. So we're going to talk about the dry market. Who is Arrivalist? Long story short, I'm going to fly through this because I'm hoping you all know who we are. We see 120 million smartphones moving around the US and Canada every day. From this, we distill visitation, where devices come from, how long they stay, and attribution, how media influences or doesn't influence people to show up in the places they see ads for. We work just with tourism and DMOs. We've done this for we were born of tourism and DMOs. We've been doing this for 8 or 9 years, 8 years, almost 9 now. We work with 93 cities. We've worked with 43 of the 50 states. We work with 10 major attractions. I'm going to show you some data from an attraction here in Florida today that is really interesting. In fact, if you only take away one thing from this entire presentation, I hope it's this. Yesterday's visitor isn't today's visitor. And you can see the difference daily. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you a lot of examples of this with raw data. But this is an attraction in the Orlando area. But pre-COVID, most of their dry market visitors were from out of the state. In today's new normal, whatever this is, most of them are from in-state. The average distance to arrival went from 331 miles to 207 miles. Yesterday's visitor isn't today's visitor, and it changes daily. So, ironically, 2020, the year of limited visibility into the future. When people stopped traveling March 14th, Ides March, whatever, we didn't send out a warm, fuzzy email. We called clients. We asked them, what can we do? What can we show you? How can we help you get through this? One client said rather memorably, it's like my place is a patient on the table and I can't find the pulse. I don't know how bad this is. And so we set out to create a kind of a leading indicator of the return of travel. We knew that road trips were going to be the first thing to come back. And so we launched this product. Before we did any publicity, we started getting like 1,000 views a day on the website. Free daily travel index. This is trips by car of more than 50 miles on a daily basis. We launched this free to the industry. We had one client that bought into a customized version of it, and then we got media coverage. And then when AAA decided not to do any projections about road trip activity over July 4th, just said it was too hard, we did our own projections for road trip activity on July 4th. We got a lot of coverage for our projections on Labor Day, and I'm really sad to say we missed by 0.2 percentage points on exactly. Unlike the AAA data, you can actually grade our homework. You can come to this website, freedailytravelindex.com, and view it. So one of the things that customers told us is that the recovery will be led by drive market visitation, and this data is pretty powerful. In fact, this is as of the end of September, tourism economics data, partner of ours. Air passenger activity is still down 69%. Hotel room demand still down 33%. Auto trips only down 14%. In fact, over Labor Day, we had more activity in 2020 road trips than in 2019. How could that be? Same amount you've got reduced supply because people can't fly, and so it's increased demand for road trip activity. That's the bright spot in our marketing opportunity today is road trip activity. So March 14th, we took a hard look in the mirror. We asked customers what they wanted to hear. We led with, they told us they wanted faster reports for stakeholders. They wanted, how is this year over year different? They wanted to see what's changed, who's visiting, who isn't visiting anymore, and are these the visitors I want? Questions we've heard a lot. New insights for destination management and new data for advocacy. So we launched the auto data, as we call it, the Daily Travel Index, trips of 50 or more miles, and it's updated daily. That means you can log in on Monday morning and see Saturday's activity. It'll never be more than 48 hours old. It's the freshest data on the market measuring road trip activity, and it's free to the industry. You can break it down by state, available to everybody. So how are clients using this? This is New Orleans. New Orleans wanted to know exactly how far down they were over Labor Day. And in some days they were down 41%, and other days they were down 70%. It's not uniform across the board. But this tells you, and you might say this is bad news, but you're never going to show how much progress you've recovered or how much progress you've made until you set a marker at the bottom. The good news about it being low is that you can see all the value you create as travel returns. Now, I've been in travel marketing for many years. I know that there's not a lot to brag about when conversion rates are low, but and when all the charts go down and to the right, there's not a lot you can go back and show. However, you can always show gaining market share. So what we built into Daily Travel Index is how does your state or city compare to the national index? You can see in Missouri, our first client here, they actually went up. They were up every weekend over the national travel average. You can always show that you're gaining share in a down market. Now this is the really radical changes we've seen. We thought origin markets were static, right? People come from where they come from. Well, not necessarily. This is visitation again, New Orleans. But look at what happened to Lake Charles year over year. This is 2019. It wasn't even in the top 20. Goes up to number 3 in 2020. Jackson, Mississippi, barely made the mark in 19. I'm sorry, it was way higher in 19, but it's much lower in 20. Yesterday's visitor isn't today's visitor. Another example from New Orleans. New Orleans always kind of overlooked Baton Rouge. Right up the street, 45 miles, or right up the interstate, 45 minutes if you drive fast and low traffic. So they decided to attract culinary visitors to downtown. Now what's interesting about this case study? Future-proofing. Gray said it. No cookies in this. None whatsoever. So they launched a culinary campaign, no ad IDs either. They launched a culinary campaign targeting Baton Rouge, and not just Baton Rouge. They didn't want all of Baton Rouge. They wanted the LSU professors and the LSU students to come to the city for a culinary campaign. And they also wanted to hit 70810, which is government employees and certain demographics. So they targeted this, and the Daily Travel Index showed that they got a 40% year-over-year increase in the zip codes that they targeted because we balanced this to 2019 data. This is paid search, this is paid search, social, the things you cannot cookie. It's a cookie-free way to track it. Now this one I'm not going to reveal the client. Let's just say that we work with a lot of beaches in Florida. A lot of beaches in Florida. And so this beach in Florida, now a lot of people assume people from Florida or people who live near beaches don't go to other beaches. But that's not right. In fact, this beach in Florida attracts more than 38% of their visitors from Miami. Now, something crazy happened in Miami over July 4th weekend. They closed the beaches. Our client, over one weekend, saw the total amount of visitation from Miami go up to 67.2% over July 4th weekend. And they made radical changes on this because this was up 68% from the normal. So they made changes on destination management basis based on this. And you can see how lockdowns affect everything. So if we take anything away here, yesterday's visitor isn't today's visitor. You can see the difference daily. So I think that wraps up my campaign, but we're eager to work with you to embed the metric on this data set and welcome any questions if you have them.